All right, we are live. I want to give it a minute or so just so that people will gather themselves and start tuning in to this broadcast. Well, good evening, everybody, wherever you may be watching us from, or good afternoon if you are further to the west, like in Hawaii. But tonight we are glad to be here with you, and thank you for tuning in. And for those of you that are in the East Coast, we know that it's a little bit late, but thank you for being with us. And I assure you that tonight we have a lot of information, especially because of the topic that we're going to be discussing and talking about tonight. So, again, thank you for watching. This is the Stand Up Fight Back, where we discuss strategy and analysis for the progressive movement. We're here to talk about the issues that you care about. Tonight, we are talking about Hawaii, the fires over in Maui, a total devastation. And I have some guests with us tonight that will be sharing information directly from the ground. But here are some of the facts that has been happening over in Hawaii. As you know, this fire is now a one that is for the books. Pretty much a historic fire. We have never seen nothing like this in modern history. Over 100 years ago, we have not seen anything like it. Already, 93 people have been accounted to have passed, and there's many more that are missing in the hundreds. Somewhere around 1,000 people that still are missing. So the numbers, as the governor has said, most likely will go up. And with that, I wanted to have some of our guests here tonight. I want to introduce you to them, and then we're going to get right into the topic. You got to excuse me. I have a little bit dealing with my asthma, but um, we here and we want to make sure that you get to meet these beautiful people that we have that have agreed to be with us, even though that they are going through so much right now. But our guest, Betusha Nikolai, she's an old friend of mine that I met during the days of Standing Rock. That's where I actually met her, and she is in Maui this evening. Also with us is Jubee Beyoda, and also a resident from Lahaina. So welcome both of you tonight. Betusha, you want to say hello to everybody?
Hello. Um, my name is Pedusha. I live in Wai'ehu, which is not near the fires, but um, I want to say that a lot of people, not the ones that have been evacuated like Jubee, but a lot of people are on the ground over here, around the clock, helping as much as we can.
Yes, thank you. Jubee, welcome tonight.
Hi, I'm Jubee Beyoda, and thank you for having me on the show. Uh, I'm one of the survivors that was in the fire and had to swim out to the ocean, tread water for a few hours, about 3 hours, running away from the fire. And at that time of evacuating my vehicle and deciding that it's a life and death situation with fires coming from the front, back, and side, we entered the ocean, and we were met up with a family from California, some Asians that had 5 children, a husband and wife, and we forced them into the water with us because we knew that they would die if they stayed on shore, right on the road. I was given the 2-year-old son, who clung onto my neck for about 3 hours as I was in the water, treading water. A plywood flew out from one of the top of the roof, and that plywood saved our life. We hung on to it, and we were watching the fire just burn my hometown of Lahaina. And being born and raised there, it was a scary thing to watch. And this family, they were terrified. They didn't want to come into the water, but we forced them. And as we shifted from side to side in the ocean, moving left to right, avoiding the heat, the big flames that were coming at us from the street side, we were all in panic. But we assured each other that we're gonna make it, and we just need to be strong. After treading water for about 3 to 4 hours, I needed to hand back the kid, the 2 year old, to his father. And I said, "Sir, I need to give you back your son. I need to find my nephew. I had lost contact with him in the ocean, and I needed to go find him." But I told him that I promise you, as soon as I get to shore, I will get to a police officer, and that officer will call help for you. I treaded water, walked into the shoreline with fires going on all over the place, made it to the sand, and ran to safety. At that point, I ran into a police officer, and I said, "Officer, you need to call the Coast Guard. There's about 30 to 50 people floating in front of the Bubba Gumps wall, and a family that has 5 children. You need to go save them." And at that point, the officer said he would. And the next day, we woke up and we heard on the news that a Coast Guard boat and the fire department went and rescued those guys. And today, our town in Lahaina is flattened by disaster. All our homes have been taken, lives have been taken, and it's it's something that only Mother Nature can do. It's no one's fault. We were all trapped in Maui and Lahaina. If you know the area, there's one road in and one road out. The road into Lahaina from Wailuku was blocked by a telephone pole. So we were all directed to go north, right out of our camps. The highway was blocked, so we were directed to go down to Front Street. And with the chaos and everyone panicking, there was no way out. People were screaming, fires were popping up everywhere. And, I'm just grateful that I survived, that my family is alive, and that the people we were with in the water survived, and many, many others that ran for their lives survived. But I'm petrified of the people that didn't make it. We have a list of maybe 90 somewhat names so far that they can identify, but there are many, many more that are in that debris that had burnt to ashes and that will never be discovered. And that was a nightmare that I would not want to relive ever.
Jubee, thank you for sharing that, your experience. I know it's not easy for you to relive those moments. I saw the family. I saw the video of the family that you helped saved. Thank you. Thank you so much for the courage that you had with others that mobilized and forced these people into the water. Otherwise, they would have not never make it. We see the devastation in your city, in your town, in your home. We see that. According to the authorities, there are over 2,000 structures that have been destroyed.
That is correct.
Uh, it's a sad thing. People are desperate right now. We've been monitoring the news. We've been talking to people on the ground. Help is not getting there fast enough. It's hard. It's a hard thing. What are you seeing out there right now that makes it even double difficult because I'm sure that, like you want to go back, you want to go see your house, but they're not letting you guys in.
So yeah, there's a reason for that. There's telephone poles that are crossing all the lines. Uh, right now, they're concentrating on finding people the best that they can, and they're trying to clean up roads so that it's safe for cars to go through. However, they did clear up a road going into Lahaina and coming out of Lahaina on both ends, north and south, but they are restricting the residents of Lahaina to come back to their own hometown. And that is something that they need to change. They are forcing us to go on the north end, which is very difficult. The road is enough for one car to go through. And if you're faced with a car coming out, you'd have to reverse. And to reverse on that road, the other side of the road is a cliff that drops down thousands of feet. It's dangerous for residents to drive through that road. They need to open up the road for the people that can show proof that we live in Lahaina, and we need to come and go as we please to get there and get our supplies and go back to our home where we are residing, not the home that was burnt, but the family members that are taking care of us.
Yes, it is my understanding that right now the numbers that we are seeing, there's about 1,600 people that are sheltered that have been placed in shelters, but the thousands of people whose homes were destroyed, they have nowhere to go back to. So
Um, they do have places now. There are hotels that are opening up, giving people's homes that were burnt a week stay for free. That is such a big thing that we send our aloha to those hotels that are opening up rooms for the residents that had their homes taken away. There is still shelters that are still housing many a people at the Wall Memorial Stadium in Wailuku. That place is jam packed with people. They are getting supplies in to feed the people there, to clothe them, to make sure that they're safe, and they're doing the best that they can. Uh, and we need to continue to bring in food or whatever it is, because sooner or later the people that lost their homes, they're going to be running out of supplies, they're going to be running out of this, and to not have access to the other side and freely to come back to their own hometown would dampen that.
yes, Betusha, you've been out there moving around and talking to folks. Uh, we know that also there is a lot of pets that have been displaced, and all these are the things that happen during these kind of catastrophes. What is the mood out there? How are the people responding? We know that aloha is all about love and fellowship. That's what the people of Hawaii offer. And this is a time that they are in need, but they are not stopping and to help each other. That's exactly what they're doing. Is that correct? Is this what we are seeing? The people rising up in spite of their problems?
Um, I'm kind of confused at the first one you were going. There's a lot of people trying to bust into this. I'm using my cell phone, um, but there's people trying to bust into this, trying to talk to me, and there is a lot of on the ground. I'm 64 years old, and I have lung problems. So we're out there in the sun. The biggest one is the War Memorial Building, which is like a huge gym, and it's packed. In fact, people are outside the the sleeping on cots, and sorry, excuse me. So uh, they they really need supplies. The people in Lahaina need generator and water. I wouldn't if you guys gonna ship or donate, I would do by plane. Planes are coming in, not tourists. Um, they're bringing in supplies because right now in Wailuku is hot, very hot, and we're outside helping people, moving supplies, and I can't imagine being in Lahaina. Lahaina is notorious for being very, very hot. To be hotter than this with no water, uh, and you can't even boil the water. You can't drink. It's contaminated, and a lot of people have hot spots for their wires, their cell phones, and they calling in, and I have a list of people that I found all my people, so they're okay, but there's a lot of them are stuck over there, because going in and out is pretty tough. It's always a lot of traffic sometimes anyway, but now this is all crazy.
Yes. Um, Going back, Juby, going back to this family that you helped rescue, I was really moved by your actions and the actions of others that were assisting people out there. I understand that the mother didn't know how to swim,
Yes,
and right, and you pretty much
we
made it
dragged
go in
her.
the water.
Yes, we dragged her in the water, and we promised her that she would be okay. And once we got the baby away from her, we went. The husband went and got her and brought her into the water. And about 10 minutes later, we were blessed with that plywood that flew off the roof of the building that did not burn yet, which burned about 10 minutes after we had recovered that plywood that we could all hang on to on the sides. There was a point where they were so tired from the water that they sat on the plywood, and the plywood started to sink. And I said, "You need to get off because all of us will sink if you stay on there." So they got off, and we hung on to that as well.
Wow, wow. Now I understand that this family was a family with five children, and they were from California.
Yes, they were. And I believe they're going to be contacted. The video was turned over to some people of yours, which you're affiliated that know on NBC, and they're going to try to contact that family as well, and hopefully reunite myself and that family.
I mean, I know that we talked, and you were very humble, and you just wanted to help. But it's very commendable what you did. You didn't think of yourself; you thought of others, and even your nephew was missing. Did you find your nephew?
Yes, after walking on the shoreline and walking for about 3 miles, getting a ride to my sister's apartment, I got there. He was not there. His mom was there. She said, "Where's Micah?" I said, "I don't know. I lost him in the ocean in the whole midst of the fire. We got separated. I thought he was here, so we were mourning for a bit." And 45 minutes later, he walked into the apartment, and his mom bursted in tears and went and hugged him.
Oh, Jesus! I mean, these are moments that you know we are placing dark, in a very dark situation because no one knows what's going to happen. uh I understand that part of the reason why they are not letting people go in to some of the burn areas is because there's so many people still missing, and they need to identify some of the bodies that were burned literally. uh they having a hard time trying to identify bodies. Sometimes they have been reduced to ashes already because the fire was so hot that it was burning some of the steel and this thing, right? Is that
Yes, that is partly correct. And the reason they're not letting people in is because of the danger that could happen. These wires are all hanging from trees. Poles are hanging. Any pole, if a wind kicks up, could knock the pole down, could knock a person in the head, and possibly kill them. They're also worried about people that are looters that are trying to go into areas, that homes that are half burnt, and trying to find what they can find and steal what they can steal. Those are the important things that they are trying to protect the the properties until further notice. I'm sure once all the debris is cleared and it's safe to go in, homeowners will be allowed to go in.
Yeah. Now, let's talk a little bit about recovery because I know we understand that this is going to be a long-term situation. It's not going to be
Yes.
an easy fix. We're talking about uh, perhaps 90% of the city of Lahaina has been totally destroyed. So we're talking about being able to rebuild. But what we are hearing is the locals are very, very nervous because this is when you have the super rich, the well connected, that will take advantage of situations like this and try to kick people out from their properties and stuff because they've been reduced to nothing. Is that what's happening? Is that some of the worries that people have?
That's what the talk is about right now going on. But right now, the people that are struggling, they will protect their homes, they will rebuild on their homes. And the outside, if they think that they can come in and just bully their way through, they're in for a big surprise, because the people of Hawaii, the people of Maui will not let that happen. The Hawaiians, they are one strong group of people, and they will make sure that that doesn't happen. If they want to come in and help us clean up, help us rebuild our homes, fine, that will accept that. But to come in and build and take over, that will not happen.
And we want to make sure that uh, we continue to monitor that because we're going to be supporting the people of Hawaii. We're going to be supporting the working class, the locals, the people that make the beautiful island of Hawaii. Uh, I was sharing with you that I've been to Maui a couple of times, and it's just it grabs your heart. The people grabs your heart. Uh, it's just a beautiful thing, and you feel the presence. Yes, Bedusha.
I want to say something about the land grab that locals are already receiving phone calls asking to purchase their property. And so this land grab is going viral. Uh, and it says if you are from Lahaina and receiving phone calls from realtors asking to purchase your property, and they want the name, the company, and the address to send to action at hapahawaii.org, HAPAHI.org. And so they can document and send to appropriate outlets because, uh, Hawaii, the locals are already being priced out of um, paradise. Like Iam Tongi his family was priced out of paradise, and so gentrification already is a problem, and we need Hawaiians to be in Hawaii, the locals to be in Hawaii, and I can feel for some of the locals that lose everything. They don't even have underwear. Underwear is a big demand right now, and some corporation is gonna try to pay them top dollar, and but we're really encouraging our friends and family not to sell. So that's a problem right now.
Right, understood. Uh, Juby, any thoughts uh, of what you are seeing right now that is the most urgent things that we need to offer support for? Any specific stuff that you are seeing?
Not any specific things. The electric company worked 24/7. we are now with electricity in all areas, I believe, of the west side. We are not hooked up with the internet yet, but we do have where we had to run to Kanapali area. Now they have lights, so we have showers that are hot. Uh, we can now cook food, which is very important, but we still need supplies to come in because everything was taken, and people have children that need milk, that need formulas. Those are the important things that we need to continue to keep bringing food, uh, so that they can cook, and just to be able to watch these families just come together as a group is so uplifting. That's all they have right now are family members, friends that are uprooting their spirits. And on the outside, the Maui community, the Hawaiian community that are contributing all of these things just to get it to our island is amazing. And people from the mainland are donating things. It's we're not being unloved, that's for sure. And I'm sure they are trying to do the best that they can for the Lahaina West Maui people.
Now, one of the things that we are hearing from the authorities, they're asking the general public that if you are not from the island, to hold on and hold your vacation until this crisis is better handled. Uh,
It's to me that is okay, but if a tourist decides to come to the island and want to go to Kihei, to Kahului, to Wailuku, to the south side, by all means, these people need to survive too. If they don't come, these people will not have jobs. They will not have work. So it's a it's a kind of like
catch
a
22.
catch 22. You don't come, we get hurt. You come, we get hurt. But it's crazy. But we've got to remember that the people that are still with their homes, that are able to run the businesses at the hotels, they do need tourists to come in. We cannot shut the door on them, because if not, that those people are going to be affected. We need to start, because right now the west side, not only did they lose their homes, they lost their jobs. The hotels are vacant. No no tourist is in the hotels anymore, so all the hundreds and thousands of people on the west side that had jobs at the hotels no longer have jobs.
That makes a lot of sense, and we can understand that because we saw that happening also in Puerto Rico during the hurricane. The tourists stopped coming, but the people needed their jobs. They needed to survive. So it's one of those things, as you say, a catch 22 is very difficult situation. But I think that the idea here is that there is work to be done. There's
There is
still
a lot
people
of
that
work.
needs to be rescued, right? And they're asking just to not get in the way. In other words, let the
Yeah.
people let the workers do their work and make sure that the people are accounted for, that the property is secured. Is the National Guard there, by the way?
Yes, there are. The Army National Guard is on post on all streets that are are attended by police officers. They are directing traffics. They are helping distribute things. They are playing a big part in this.
Good. What about food wise? We know that there's always going to be need, but is the food getting there? Is there fresh
Yes,
food?
fresh food is getting there. The supermarkets on the north side, Times Market, Napili Market, those markets are open. Uh, and people are shopping regularly now, being able to go in. So the ones that can afford it are shopping. It's the ones that we need to look at that didn't have homes, that don't have the money, that we need to make sure that they get food too. So these shelters need to stay open for those guys.
Got it. Um, I know that you've been kind enough to be with us tonight, both of you. I know that you've been running around. You haven't stopped. Are you getting any sleep?
Our sleeps are 10-hour waits trying to get back home in the cars. It's crazy. And once we get home, we close our eyes and we need to wake up to go take care of things again. But it's been a nightmare. It's been hectic, but we will get through this.
Right. I understand that there was a lawsuit actually that was filed against the 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 power companies. If
Yes, I heard. I was just notified about that, and I was notified that they were, according to the people that are suing them, their lawyers are saying that they should have turned off the power.
right,
It wouldn't have been as bad had they turned off their power.
and,
And so they are blaming them for the disaster. I I cannot say. I'm not a person to point fingers. It's a disaster that happened naturally. No one should be blamed for this. It's
right,
it's I know people are going to think of ways to get money that way. If they can get it that way, that's fine. My hats are off to them. But this kind of situation happens, and it's hard. It's the tragedy alone thing. But if they can prove that they were at fault, which it's hard to do. It's hard to even phantom to blame somebody for this disaster, because it was Mother Nature. There was the winds that were blowing 90 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour. They cannot stop that, no matter what. No matter what. Even I think if they turned off their power, the fire was already going. There was no stopping that fire. If you were in that fire, you would know what I was saying.
right. I mean, obviously there's people that are always going to try to find blame on whoever, and we understand that, especially if you lost everything, you're going to try to find a reason why, and you want answers. So
Yeah.
we understand that side. But right now, I think the focus, if I'm not mistaken, is making sure that everybody is okay,
Yes.
that your neighbor, has food to eat, that has a place to lay down, that have assurance that everything is going to be okay. That's the kind of message that should be resonating. Am I
Yes.
mistaken on that?
No, you're not mistaken. You're a dead point on that, and that is what we need to focus on.
Right. I mean, later on, there's going to be investigations, and I'm sure
Yes.
that they already opened some investigations. Why the alarms didn't sound it, et cetera, et cetera. But right now, we have a lot of people that are missing, and my heart hurts because if that's my family, I want to know where they're at. This is what we have to be thinking about. The people of Hawaii are beautiful people. You have given your love to all of us that have come to the island. So it's time for us to give our love back. We're going to be monitoring and encouraging people that as soon as we get the links where you could be sending your donations, please do so. This is the time that we have to stand up with the people of Hawaii. This is the time that we say aloha back, and that in that same spirit that welcomes us, we need to give back and show our love and gratitude for this great state of Hawaii that has opened their arms time and time again to all of us, to the world. Any last thoughts, Vidusha?
Yes. I saw a link that's going viral on social media that any locals to give their DNA to find their families, because the number of deceased is going to significantly rise, and they need help identifying. The reason it's so slow is they're being really careful and respectful of the ones that went to the spirit world already. And another thing I want to say about Jubee Bedoya is I know him for how many years now?
Almost 10.
Yeah, almost 10. And he's uh one of the very loved people of the
Mhm.
locals here, especially in Lahaina. And he's a humble man. So I had to tell him. I said to Jubee, it's not about you. Through your story, you're gonna help so many people. Hopefully, donate through this podcast and help us because we really do need help. And I want to give my the biggest mahalo to Jubee. It's I am not surprised. The person you see right there in this podcast is the person that you will see any day. He is this much aloha, and I'm so proud to call you my friend Jubee.
Thank you, Paducah.
Yeah, I can tell you that the minute that I connected with you, Juby, you you were so responsive. You open up your heart. You share your story that has inspired so many people out there already. We're gonna be posting the video here to show the family that you helped saved. Uh, you know, I know that you're humble and you didn't want to bring attention to yourself. You told me that, but it is in moments like this that shows the real humanity, that shows the person who you are. And I can tell you, for just having some conversations with you, that they are very fortunate to have you out there. And thank you for all the work that you're doing. You're probably not even telling us, not even one fourth of all the stuff that you've been doing. Uh, it's been hard getting a hold of you because you like moving everywhere. I talked to NBC, and they were so pleased that you made yourself available to them so that you could share the story.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. Any last thoughts that you have, Juby?
I'd just like to say, uh, if you can help, help. If you can't, you can't. No big deal. But keep them coming. Pray for the people that haven't found their family yet. And our in our realm of fellowship, we say our higher power will help us out, and we will get through this. But we need help. If you can, dig deep. Thank you.
Yes. So we are going to be posting in the next few days some of the links of organizations that we have vetted, because we also know that there's a lot of people that try to take advantage and try to take people's monies. So we want to make sure that if we put a link of where you can send your donations, that those links have been well vetted, and that wherever the money is going to go is going to use exactly for that. So we want to make sure of that. I'm looking forward in coming to Hawaii uh, later on, as soon as things settle down a little bit. We want to make sure that we continue this labor of love towards the people that have given us so much love through the decades, through, going back, decades. But thank you so much for being with us. You have been watching Stand Up Fight Back. We here every Sunday, or at least we try to be. But tonight, Juby and Bidusha, they are in Maui right now. Thank you for giving us your time, and please, you have my number. Anything that we can be, if there's anything that we can do, you see that there's a specific needs, you got to reach out. Let us know, because we want to make sure that we are there for you as well. I'll
Thank
be
you.
looking forward to meeting you in person, Juby.
Thank you. Me too.
All right.
All right. Aloha, guys.
Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you, Jubee.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, aloha.
Aloha.